A very good morning to one and all. I'm Priyanka Raghunath Sapkar from BMC Education Department, Goregaon MPS Municipal Secondary School East. So, students, today we are going to start with a new topic of Science 1, that is chemical reactions and equations. So, let's start with our topic. So, chemical reactions and equation, the name of the topic is. So, first we will see what you mean by the chemical reaction. So the transformation of a chemical substances into a new chemical substance by making and breaking of bonds between different atoms is known as the chemical reactions. Now, as we know, for example, if you take one example of sodium chloride, okay, NaCl. So sodium and chloride, they both are combined with a bond. So if we want to break it and want to make one new compound, then what happens when we are making a totally new compound, that means a chemical transformation is taking place. Okay, that means sodium will react with some another element, chlorine will react some another element, and hence they will transform themselves. That is, NaCl will get converted into some other compound. So the transformation of chemical substances into a new chemical substance by making and breaking of bonds takes place. So here breaking of bonds also takes place and making of bonds also takes place. Breaking means breaking of the compound which is already present in the reactant site and the product which is formed. Their formation of a new bond takes place between, with the other element. So hence this transformation takes place by making and breaking of the bonds, so between the atoms. Now here you can see, so here different colors of balloons are present. So A, B and C, D for your understanding. So here A is one element and B is another element. So they are combined with a bond. Then C is one element and D is also another element. So they are also combined with a bond. Now hence AB is a compound and CD is another compound. Now as you know that compound is formed by the combination of two or more elements. So here AB is one kind of compound and CD is another kind of compound. So here in this case, what happens? Chemical reaction occurs between these. So these elements, whatever the elements are present in these compounds, they will exchange with each other. That means breaking of the bond between the AB and the CD will take place. And what will happen? You can see the color of the balloons here. The blue colored element, that is A element, will combine with the green colored balloon, that is the D element. And hence after combination, they will form one new compound which is known as AD, which was not present in the reactant side. Now always you can see here, whatever present in the left hand side of an arrow, they all are the reactants. And whatever will be present on the right hand side of the arrow, they all will be the products. So here what will happen? Here breaking of the bond between the AB and the CD is taking place, and after that what is happening here? The elements from the compound AB and CD, they will exchange themselves, and what a totally new compound will be formed, that is AB and CB. Now here in this case a new bond is also formed, a new bond is formed and a new compound is also formed. So here in this case you can see that here a making and breaking of the bond is taking place and a new product is formed. Now here students, now in this case we can say that now there are different kind of changes occurs. Sometimes occurs physical change, sometimes occurs chemical change. So we should understand the difference between the physical change and the chemical change. So for example, if you can see that a transformation of ice into a water, what kind of change it is? Whether it is a physical change or it is a chemical change? Then we will say absolutely it is a physical change, because when the transformation of ice taking place into the water, whatever the contents are present in that, whatever the molecules, whatever the atoms are present, that is the water molecule, they are not changing. So that's why in and there only the thing is occurring is that only the state is changing, that first it was in solid state, now it is in liquid state. That means you can say that physical change is nothing but the substances undergo a physical change. That means it will physically change itself. That means, for example, if it is in liquid state, then it will convert into gaseous state, or if it is in solid state, it will convert into liquid state. So whenever these changes occurs, physically we can see that it's changing its state. So in that case, we can say it is having the physical change. That means here in physical change, you can see only the change in the shape, size, state, all these kind of changes whenever it occurs as the physical change. Now here in this case, now chemical changes are different. Here in this case, physical change may or may not appear, but here composition changes. Okay, so totally different compound can be formed. So here composition of that compound change. So hence we can differentiate both the physical change and the chemical change. One of the example of chemical change you can see that cooking of the food, then milk turned into curd. Okay, these are also the example of a chemical change. So we will see one by one what do you mean by the physical change and what do you mean by the chemical change. So here when a substance undergo a physical change, its composition remains the same despite its molecules being rearranged. Now here you can see that the molecules are only rearranged themselves. That means when in an ice cube, the bonds were very tightly arranged. But when it is get converted into a liquid, the some of the bonds they break themselves. So that is why here
Hello, Priyanka ma'am.
so up in the product, a new bond is formed that is between A and D. Okay. So here you can see when a substance undergo a chemical change, its molecular composition is changed entirely. Thus, the chemical changes involve the formation of a totally new substances. Then comes the physical change. Now, physical change is temporary change. Okay. So, temporarily physical change can occur. Whether it can be a change in shape, whether it can be a change in size. But a chemical change is permanent change. That means whenever any compound gets converted into another compound, so that change will be permanent. Okay. We most of the time we cannot reverse the reaction. Okay. We cannot the reaction only in some cases but most of the cases whatever the change will be there chemical change that will be permanent change. Then a physical change affects only the physical properties, that is the shape and size. Okay, so it will, as the name itself is there, physical properties. So here physical properties like shape, size, color, whatever it may be. So it can change. But in chemical change, what happens? Both the physical and the chemical properties of the substances changes, including its composition. Okay, physical and chemical properties both changes means here maybe happen it may happen that color changes of the reactions. Okay, first it was blue and then it converted into colorless because totally new compound is formed. Okay, totally new. Both the aqueous solution get converted into uh, a powdered form solution. So here in this case or a precipitate is formed. So likewise physical and chemical change in the properties takes place. Then a chemical change involves very little to no absorption of energy because what happens here, no breaking and making of bonds takes place. That's why no absorption of energy appears here. But whereas in chemical change, what happens? Here making and breaking of bonds takes place. Okay, so here absorption and evolution of energy takes place. That means whenever it is making a bond, what happens there? Energy is released. And where breaking of bonds takes place, energy is absorbed. So that's why here in this case, absorption and evolution of energy takes place. Then some of the examples of physical change, you can say that the freezing of water, melting of ice, boiling of water. These are all the examples of physical change. Whereas the chemical changes are, examples are digestion of food, burning of coal, then rusting, etc. Then comes generally the physical changes do not involve the production of energy. Okay, it does not involve any production of energy, but whereas in chemical changes, as I already told you, that their making and breaking of bonds takes place. So whenever there is a making of bond, energy is released. And when there is a breaking of bond, then energy is absorbed by the respective elements. So in that case, what happens? Whenever you will go in higher classes, you will do the practicals in some of the reaction. What happened when you mix any kind of chemicals, 2 or 3 chemicals, what happens there? That chemical gets heated. So that means energy is released at that time. So it gets heated. So we can say that chemical changes usually involve the production of energy, which can be in the form of heat, light, or sound. Okay. Then in physical change, no new substance is formed, whereas in chemical change always is accompanied by one or more new substances can be formed because here composition changes. Then in physical change, it is easily reversible and original substance can be recovered. That means one of the best example is ice cubes can be get converted into the water, into the liquid state. Okay, so here liquid can also be get converted back to the solid, to the ice. How? If we will fill that water in that ice tray, and if we will put it in the freezer, then definitely it will get converted into the ice cubes. So here in this case, physical change is reversible, but whereas the chemical change, they are irreversible and original substances cannot be removed, cannot be recovered. Okay. Now here few of the pictures you can see of the physical changes and the chemical changes. So in the physical change, matter changes form but not chemical identity. Okay, you can see that the melting of ice is there. Then chopping of wood. Okay, here shape and size it changes. Then shredding of the paper. Here you can see the composition is same. The chemical identity is same, but only the physical appearance is changing. In shredding of paper, only the pieces of paper appears, but whatever the content of the paper is, it is one and the same only. Then if you will mix the gray and the green marbles, that is also one of the example of a physical change. Then for the chemical changes, you can see that burning of wood, then mixing vinegar and baking soda when effervescence, it appears. Then fireworks, okay, then rotting of banana. So these are all the examples of the chemical changes. Okay, so this is one of the experiment in your book. So to heat a limestone powder. Now what happens here for doing this
Priyanka ma'am.
experiment? Yes, ma'am.
Hello.
Hello.
Screen is not visible.
Screen is not visible. Okay.
No, it's visible, Charushila ma'am. It's visible.
No, I can't see.
Refresh, ma'am.
Okay, okay. I'm refreshing. Can you see, ma'am, now?
Yes, now it's visible.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
continue.
Okay, okay. Yeah. So students, so one of the experiment is that take one thermometer, then evaporating dish, tripod stand, funnel, Bunsen burner, etc. Now you can take one limestone powder. Okay. Then here what you have to do is take a spoonful of limestone powder and in an evaporating dish. So you can see the dish is there. So heat it strongly on a blue flame. Now what you have to do is just close the end of the stem of a funnel. Okay, stem of that one stem is there. So stem of a funnel with a cotton plug and then keep this funnel inverted on the evaporating dish. Now heat the evaporating dish on a tripod stand slowly. Now what changes appears there? What you can observe the changes. Okay. So whenever there is a no color change, that means CO gas is evolving, and hence the nature of the nature will be the chemical. It is a chemical change. Now whenever the blue color gets converted into a colorless, then you can see that there is an increase in temperature. Okay, when you will get an yellow precipitate, we can say that again there is an increase in temperature and it is a chemical change. Okay, so likewise different observation you can observe with this experiment. just only you have to do it, just put a funnel, a glass funnel inverted over this evaporating dish, and you can see the observation. Okay, so likewise you can do the experiment to see whether there is a chemical change or not. Then okay, then what do you mean by the chemical equation? Okay, so chemical equation means what? So a balanced chemical equation means that the number of the atoms of each element is equal on both the sides. Okay, whatever the number of atoms of each element will be, so that will be equal in both the sides. For example, Zn plus H2SO4. Okay, so what you will get? ZnSO4 and H2. So this is a chemical reaction. Now in this equation, number of zinc, hydrogen and sulfate, they are equal on both the sides. So hence it is a balanced chemical equation. So that's why we can say, what do you mean by the chemical equation? Now here in this case, chemical equations are those where we balance the reaction. So you can see first the reaction is written here and then we have to balance it. So balancing is also one of the important part of writing a chemical reaction or a chemical equation. So here you can see that zinc, when reacted with H2SO4, we get ZnSO4 and H2. Here in both the reactant and the product, what is similar? All the atoms are their numbers are similar of the element. So here one of the reaction of aqueous solution of copper sulfate and zinc powder. So here you can see an aqueous solution of copper sulfate is poured in a test tube having a zinc powder. So what happens here? Then just stir the test tube. Then you will see that the blue color solution of copper sulfate, it gets converted into a colorless solution. Now how it is happening? Okay. Now whenever we are talking about a chemical equation, first we should understand how we have to write the chemical reaction. And after that, how we can write converting, how we can say that it is a chemical equation. Now see, let's first look at the chemical reaction. So here in this case, a colorless solution of zinc sulfate is formed on addition of a zinc dust to a blue colored solution of copper sulfate. Now the solution of copper sulfate is always blue in color. So whenever you put that blue colored solution in a test tube containing a zinc dust, now what happens there? It gets converted into a colorless solution. Now how it gets converted into a colorless solution? Because the zinc gets reacted with the SO4 than that of zinc. That's why what happened? Cu, the bond between the Cu and the SO4, it breaks down and Zn gets added to the SO4. So then what happens? ZnSO4 is formed, which is a aqueous solution of zinc sulfate, and it is colorless. So that's why a colorless solution is formed. So now you can say that the representation of a chemical reaction is a condensed form using the chemical formula, and hence it is known as the chemical equation. So here you can say, here likewise chemical reaction you can write. So when zinc powder is added to copper sulfate, so here I had written in below copper sulfate, CuSO4 and aqueous solution. So then is added with zinc powder. So here more reactive zinc, it displaces or it replaces the less reactive copper from the copper sulfate solution, and hence we get the colorless zinc sulfate is formed with the evolution of heat. So here you can see that in the product side, ZnSO4 is there, that is zinc sulfate, which is also an aqueous solution, and copper is formed. So here in this case, CuSO4 and zinc, these are the reactant on the left hand side, and whatever product is there, we have to write it on the right hand side. Okay, and in the midway, one arrow is given. So here they react with each other to form a copper particles and a solution of colorless zinc sulfate. So as a product, and having a totally different properties. So here in this case, the product which is formed is having a totally different properties. Now here in this case, you can see that here the physical and the chemical changes both are appearing in this reaction. Okay, physical change, first of all, how we can see that the physical change is there with the help of the color of CuSO4 was blue, you can see in the beaker. Okay, it is blue colored. When you pour it in the test tube, what happens? It gets converted into colorless. That means physical change is the color of the composition, it is changing. Okay, first it was blue in color and now it is colorless. And after that, why this is happening? Because of the chemical change. Okay, now chemically how it is changing? Now first the solution was CuSO4, now the solution is ZnSO4. First, the solution was CuSO4, blue colored CuSO4 solution, that is copper sulfate solution. Now the solution is ZnSO4, that is, it is a colorless solution. So here in this case, likewise reaction you have to write. So whatever the reactants we are taking first, it should be written on the left hand side, all the reactants, and whatever the products are there, it should be written on the right hand side. So now we can say that the ionic bond in the reaction CuSO4, it breaks and the ionic bond in the product ZnSO4 is formed. So likewise, chemical reaction is happening. That is, both the breaking and the making of the bond is appearing. Where the breaking taking place? In the reactant side, and the making of the bond is taking place on the right hand side. On the left hand side, breaking is taking place between the reactants, and on the right hand side, making of the bond is taking place on the product side. So here in this case, breaking of the ionic bond of CuSO4 is taking place and making of the ionic bond of ZnSO4 is taking place on the right hand side. So likewise reaction you have to write. That means whatever the chemicals you are taking for the reaction, you have to write it on the left hand side, and after that, after reaction, whatever we are getting, you have to write on the product side. Now, how to write the chemical equation? It is also very important. Okay, so as we are writing the chemical equation, how we have to write it? What are the methods of writing it? Okay, so now identify the symbols which is used to represent the states of matter in a chemical reaction. That means whether it is in aqueous state, whether it is in solid state, whether it is in liquid state or in a gaseous state. So in the chemical equation, the reactants are written on the left. Okay, whatever the reactants are there, that means, for example, as I already told you, we will take the example of the CuSO4 and zinc dust. That is, we are taking two reactants, that is CuSO4, that is copper sulfate solution, and zinc dust. Okay, so these are all the reactants which we are going to react. As these are the chemicals which we are going to react, so that's why they are known as reactants. Now here, these reactants should be written on the left hand side. If, for example, if you are using water also, then in the reactant side, you have to write water also. But we are not using water here. We are only using the CuSO4 and zinc dust. So that's why we will write it on the left-hand side, that is on the reactant side. Then whatever the product will be formed, it will be written on the right-hand side, as I already told you. So here you can see this reaction. The product is written on the right-hand side and the reactants are there on the left-hand side. Then the coefficients next to the symbol of the entities indicate the number of moles of a substance produced or used in the chemical reaction. The coefficients are there which is written on the next to the symbol of the elements, okay, which indicates how many number of moles of that substances are present or used in the chemical reaction. For example, sir, if H2O is there, that is water molecule, okay, H2 indicates two atoms of hydrogen or two elements of hydrogen are there. Okay, so that's why it is written coefficient H2. So likewise, in many of the compounds, it is written. Then comes the reactants and the products are separated by an arrow. Okay, usually they are known as yields. Arrow can be also means the whatever the product we are getting, we can also call it as yields. Whatever yields are there, that means here you can see the reactant and the product, they are both differentiated or they can be separated by each other with the help of an arrow which is present in the middle. Okay, so whatever we are getting the product, they show us the yields, or it is the product or it is produced from the reactant. Then chemical reactions should contain information about the state properties of the products and reactants. So whether aqueous, that means it also gives us the information regarding that whether it is dissolved in water, it is an aqueous solution, or it is in solid state, it is in liquid state, or in gaseous state. Now, whenever any of the compound is dissolved in water, we say that it is an aqueous solution. Now, whenever any of the solution is in liquid state, already present in liquid state, then we will say it is in liquid state. So that is the difference between the aqueous and the liquid state of that particular compound. Okay, whenever any compound is dissolved in water, we can say that it is an aqueous solution. Okay, and whenever any compound is already in liquid state, then we will say it is in liquid state. Then gaseous and solid. So likewise, state you have to mention below that particular reactants and products. So here few of the how to write the chemical equations, few of the symbols are given to you. So reactant, it is the starting material, and product is an ending material. Okay, so G stands for gas, L stands for liquid, S stands for solid, then AQ, it stands for aqueous, that is dissolved in water. Then this triangle shape is represents the symbol for the heat. Then arrow represents the yields, that is the product, or you can say this arrow represents what we get from the reactant. Then if suppose, for example, over the arrow something is written, some of the compound, if for example one compound is written or some element is written, so that means it is an catalyst. Okay, now catalyst, what it do, it proceeds the reaction without undergoing change to itself. Okay, it is present, but it is present over the arrow. That's why it is not, that means it is not reacting with the reactant. Catalyst means what? It is not reacting with the reactant, but we add it so that the reaction proceeds faster. Okay, to proceed the reaction faster, we add the catalyst. That's why catalyst does not undergoes any change in itself. Okay, so and in that case, chemical composition is also it also does not change in the product. Okay, but only the thing is that it just proceeds the reaction little bit faster. If the reaction is slow, in that case we add some catalyst so that the reaction will get faster. So it will not undergo any of the reaction with the reactant. Okay, and it will not change itself also. Then plus stands, it stands for the combines. So as you know that between the compound, that plus sign is there, whether it is in the reactant side. So what we considered we consider that they are combining, both the reactants are combining with this plus sign. Then the number of molecules, that is moles, involved in the reaction, they are written in front of the chemical formula. Whatever the chemical formula is written, in that in front of that, number of moles are given. For example, twice H2O, that means 2 moles of water molecule. So likewise, moles are given. So here you can see this is the example of reaction. On the left hand side, reactants are given, and on the right hand side, products are given. Now here twice H2, so number of moles are given of hydrogen, and coefficient is also given. Then state is given, it is in gaseous state. Then oxygen, it combines, plus sign starts for the combine. Then O2, that is oxygen, and gaseous, that is G, it is in gaseous state. When they combine with each other, it gives H2O, that is the water molecule, and it is in liquid state. That means both the gaseous states, elements or the compounds, they combine to form a liquid state compound. Okay, now always remember hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen. These are those elements which you will not see in any of the chemical reaction. You will not find them alone. That means you will not find them as hydrogen only, H, only O. You will not find it. Either they will react with some other element or they will react with itself. That means you will get H2, but not hydrogen alone. You will get oxygen, that is O2, but not the oxygen alone. Why? Because they are not present in free state. They are present in the combined state. So in the reactant side or in a chemical reaction, we always write in a combined state form. So here you can see that H2 and O2, both in gaseous state, they combine to form a water molecule in liquid state. Now here in this case, after that, just what we have to see is whether both the reactants and the product side, both the number of moles are similar or not. Okay. Now here in this case, you can see that here on the reactant side, hydrogen is having 2 hydrogen. Don't consider that 2 first, which is written in front of that hydrogen. Okay. Just keep it for, don't consider that for a while. Just only see H2 plus O2 gives H2. Now here you can see that hydrogen is 2 in the reactant side. So in the product side, hydrogen is also 2. Okay. In the reactant side, number of oxygen are 2. But in the product side, the oxygen is 1. Now, as the oxygen is 1, so it is necessary for us so that the reactant and the product side, the number of moles should be, means whatever the number of elements should be similar. So what we have to do is just 1 we cannot write. So we will start from the 2. So write 2 in front of the hydrogen. So that now what will happen? Number of oxygen will become 2. Now with the oxygen, the hydrogen number is also increasing. That means here hydrogen is already 2 in number. Now when we are adding 2 in front of it, now the number it becomes 2 2s are 4. So what you have to do is whatever the number is present in front of the element and whatever the number is present to the suffix of that particular element, just multiply it. That is 2 2s are 4. So now the number of hydrogen is 4 here. So now what is the rule? The rule is that the number of reactant and the number of product of the element, it should be equal in both the sides. Okay. So here now 2 hydrogen is present in the reactant side. So to make it 4, what we will do? We will add the number 2 there. So now the number of hydrogen is 4 on the reactant side, and on the product side also it is 4. Now on the reactant side, number of oxygen is 2, and in the product side, the number of oxygen is also 2. So likewise, you have to balance the reaction. Then comes zinc and Cl2. We will get zinc Cl2, that is zinc chloride. So here you can see that zinc is in solid state. It combines with the chlorine in gaseous state. Cl2 is also one of the same thing. It is always found in combined state. Then we will get ZnCl2. Now here the reaction is balanced because the number of elements on both the reactant and the product sides are similar. So we don't need to balance the reaction. It is already balanced. Then comes the HCl and NaOH. Now here in this case, what happens? The bond between the hydrogen and chlorine will break, and the bond between the sodium and hydrogen and OH will break. Now what we will get? Now H positive and Cl negative, Na positive and OH negative we will get. So now the hydrogen, that is H positive and OH negative, they will combine, because positive and negative, they will combine with each other and form a new bond. So that means the H2O will form. And the sodium, that is sodium is having positive charge and Cl is having negative charge. So positive and negative will combine. So NaCl we will get in aqueous as an aqueous solution. And water is already in liquid state. So here L is given. So likewise, the reaction happens here. So here breaking and making of new bonds is formed. Then one of the experiment, that is the reaction of sodium chloride with silver nitrate. Now how it happens and how we have to write the reaction for it. Okay, to know the chemical reaction, to know the chemical equation, we will first consider one experiment, and from that experiment we will write the reaction. Now for example, take one test tube, conical flask, then and a balance. Okay. And whatever chemicals we have to take is that sodium chloride and silver nitrate solution. Now you can see from the picture that in the test tube silver nitrate solution is placed, and in the conical flask sodium chloride solution is placed. Okay, what you have to do is just pour the sodium chloride solution in the conical flask, and after that pour some silver nitrate solution in the test tube and put it inside the conical flask, and just pack it from the upper side with a cork. Okay, it should be airtight. Then measure it with the help of the balance. Now you can see a specific weight is written there, 300.23 grams. Now after that, just note it down, and after that what you have to do is just inverse that flask of conical flask. Now after inversing, what will happen? Whatever the solution was present, that is the silver nitrate solution, it will get mixed with the sodium chloride solution after reversing it. Okay, you can see in the picture. Now after reversing, what will happen? The solution it turns into it totally turns itself and it gets converted into a white solution. That means a white precipitate you can see here, and you can see the color. A totally colorless solution. Test tube is empty because whatever the solution was there, it gets mixes with the sodium chloride. And then after mixing the solutions, again measure it with the help of the balance. Now you will find the weight is same. Okay. Now what does this indicate? Now you can see that the measurement of both the before reaction and after reaction, the measurement of the chemicals before and after reaction, it was same. Okay, so the measurements are same, the weights are same, only the difference is what? Only the difference appears in the reaction. That means here you can say that here only the chemical reaction takes place, but whatever the weight was there, that only change, that remains same. Only the chemical reaction appears here. So here silver nitrate and sodium chloride, they combine to form an silver chloride and sodium nitrate. Okay, so this reaction appears. Here you can see, you can write it with the help of this sodium chloride and silver nitrate. It sodium chloride and silver nitrate, then you will get silver chloride and sodium nitrate. Here silver it is formed. Okay, so the reaction involves the changes of the radicals and it is known as the double displacement reaction. Now here you can see that the bond between the Na and Cl breaks down and the bond between the Ag and NO3 breaks down. Then what happens? So Na positive and Ag, that is silver, is also positive, is having the positive charge. So what will happen? Na will gets reacted with NO3 negative. Okay, because positive and negative, they will combine with each other and form a new bond, that is they will form sodium nitrate. And silver and chloride, they will form a new bond, that is here in this case silver chloride will be formed. So here a white precipitate is formed and here exchange of both the radicals takes place. That's why the name of the reaction is double displacement reaction. Now reactions, whatever the names are there, what kind of reactions are there, that we will study in the next lecture. So up till now just this is just a general idea of the reaction, how to write. Then comes the steps involved in writing a chemical reaction. Now, what are the steps? First of all, you know that on the left hand side, reactants are present and on the right hand side, products are there. Now, whatever the reactants and products will be there, all will be the unbalanced chemical reaction. We will, first of all, it is not a balanced reaction. Then just make a list, what number of atoms, identify the atoms in each elements, how many number of atoms are present. Okay. Then multiply the number of atoms, that whether it is coming correct or not. Then placing the coefficients in front of the molecules. For example, if on the product side 2 hydrogens are present and in the reactant side 4 hydrogens are present, then we have to change the number in the product side. We will make it 4. So just placing the coefficients in front of that molecule will help to balance the reaction. Then check the equation and balance the reaction. Okay, so in a chemical reaction, the reactants are written on the left hand side and it produces, and whatever it produces, the products, they are written on the right hand side. And arrow which is pointing towards the product, it inserted between the reactants and the products, and it also represents the direction of the reaction. So a plus sign is inserted between the 2 or more reactants so that it shows the combining effect, or it is combined or the products are formed. So the after that balancing the chemical equation takes place. Now here with A2 and B2, you can see here when A2 reacts with B2, we will get A2B. Okay, now suppose this is a general reaction. Okay, so with the help of this you can understand that on the left hand side reactants are written and on the right hand side products are formed. Now A2, that means 2A elements containing 2 molecules. Here in this case, you can see that A2 plus B2, they form product A2B. Now in the product side, B is only one element is present. But on the reactant side, 2 elements were present. So what we have to do is we have to balance the reaction. For balancing the reaction, we will put coefficient in front of A in the product side 2. Now after putting 2, the number of whatever the number of molecules of B is balanced in the product and the reactant side, but for the A it is increased. Now in the reactant side the number was 2 for the A, but now on the product side the number is 4, because 2 into 2 it comes 4. So to balance it, what we have to do is we have to also make on the reactant sides, we have to increase it by 2 numbers. So here we will write 2 coefficient in front of the molecule of A. Now after that you can see in the below it is written that A2, A2. Now here A equals to 4, B equals to 2. In the product side also you can see that A equals to 4 and B equals to 2. So likewise we can see that the reaction is balanced. Now there are steps for balancing the equation. For example, the reaction between the Ca and H2. Okay. Now decide what the reactants and the products are. First of all, decide which one is the reactant and which one is the product. So obviously whatever things we are taking initially, that are all reactants, and after that whatever we are getting after the reaction, that are products. So here calcium hydroxide and hydrogen. Now write the formula. Now this is first in the written form with the help of in words we have written the chemicals. Now when we are writing with the help of the write formula for the substances and states of the symbols and state symbols. So here state symbols means whether it is in liquid state, aqueous state, or gaseous state, or solid state. Now calcium is in solid state and H2 is in liquid state. So they combine. Now here it is with the help of formula it is written on the reactant side. Whatever we had with us, that is calcium and water, it is written on the reactant side, and after that we are getting the product which is there on the right hand side, that is CaOH by 2. Okay. Now here in this case, breaking of the bond between the hydrogen and OH from the water molecule takes place. Now OH negative is there, which will react with calcium. Okay, calcium is positive, so it will react with calcium. Now here in this case, OH by 2 aqueous will form, and H2 the hydrogen gas will be evolved. Now balance the equation so that same number of different atoms on the both the sides. Now here you can see, first of all list it. Now in the step 2 you can see that number of calcium on the reactant side is 1 and on the product side is also 1. Now number of hydrogen on the reactant side is 2, but in the product side you can see that from that OH number of hydrogen is 2, and from that and H2 2. That means 2 plus 2, here 4 will be there. 4 hydrogens are there on the right hand side, but only 2 hydrogen are there on the left hand side. Number of oxygen on the reactant side, it is only 1, but whereas in the product side it is 2, because OH by 2 is written. By 2 means it is both for the oxygen and the hydrogen. So here oxygen is number of oxygen is 2. So hence we have to now balance the reaction. Now if on the reactant side, if we put the coefficient 2 in front of the water molecule, then you can see that CaOH by 2, okay, plus H2. Here in both the cases, in the reactant sides, 2 2s are 4 for hydrogen. That means hydrogen is 4 on the reactant side, and in the product side, hydrogen is also 2 here. You can see OH by 2, that 2 plus H2, 2 plus 2, 4 is coming. So that means in hydrogen are now similar both on the reactant and the product side. Then comes the number of oxygen. The oxygen is present 2 on the left hand side, that is on the reactant side, and oxygen is present 2 on the product side also. Number of oxygen is 2 on the product side also. So now all the reaction is balanced here. So likewise you have to balance the reaction. A very easy method is just write the number of elements which are present, or the number of molecules below the reaction. On the reactant side, write whatever the elements are present, and in front of that write the numbers, so that will be easier for you to understand how many number of molecules are present. Now equations can only be balanced by putting the numbers in front of the formula. Okay, so you cannot balance them by altering the formula themselves, because you would create different substance. Now you cannot alter the formula, otherwise you will make some different than another element. Only we can balance it with the help of putting the number in front of the formula. Okay, so I hope you have understood this. So let's evaluate. So can anybody tell me what reaction? Yes, if you understand with the chemical reaction, can anybody tell? Yes, Nahid, Fatma, unmute yourself and just tell me. Can you hear me? Okay, Disha, just unmute yourself and answer. Okay, I think you have network issue. Okay, so what do you mean by the chemical reaction? As I already told you, you can see here the very first slide where I showed you the chemical reaction definition. That is the transformation of chemical substances into a new chemical substance by making and breaking of the bonds. So between the different atoms is known as the chemical reaction. Then comes the next question. Now here in this case, just you have to balance the following reaction. Now calcium and water. Okay. Now we are getting H2 and CaOH by 2. Okay. So just balancing it. Now here you can see how many number of calciums are there here. 1 calcium. So here below what you have to do is write the element name calcium and write in front of it number on the reactant side. And in the product side also write here calcium and write in front of it, it does not have any coefficient and number in front of it. So naturally, so here's calcium, number of calcium is 1. Then below that write on the reactant side number of hydrogen. Now how many hydrogens are there? 2 hydrogens are there. So write here 2. Now here in this case, how many hydrogens are there? 2 plus 2. Now OH by 2 is there. So both these two, this 2 is both for the oxygen and hydrogen. So here 2, and as it is plus sign is given, so 2. So 2 plus 2, 4 is coming here. And here hydrogen, number of hydrogen is 2, and here number of hydrogen is 4. Then oxygen, here number of oxygen is 1, whereas here number of oxygen is 2. That means in both the, now here we have to balance both hydrogen and oxygen. So here you can see likewise you have to write. Okay, to balance the reaction. Okay, it is the easy method so that you will understand how many number of elements are present. Calcium 1, hydrogen is 1, and OH is 1. So here calcium is 1 and OH is 2, and hydrogen here 2. So here likewise, if you will balance it, then if you will put 2 here, then what will happen? 2 hydrogen and 2 OH. Okay, and here in this case also 2 hydrogen as it is, and 1 calcium and 2 OH. So likewise, you can see 1 calcium is balanced, 2 hydrogen is also balanced, and 2 OH group, and this twice OH is also balanced. So hence the final reaction will be Ca plus twice H2O. We will get H2 and CaOH by 2. Okay. So I hope you understand with the topic. So any query if you have, you can ask. Yes, just unmute yourself. Yes, Sakib. Sakib, just unmute yourself. Disha, Nahid, unmute yourself and ask. If you have doubt, then only raise your hands. Yes, Disha, ask whatever doubt you have.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
That evaluation page show again.
Which
I want
one?
to screenshot it.
Which one?
Evaluation part. Question.
Evaluation. Okay, just a minute. What is a chemical reaction? Balance the following reaction.
Thank you, ma'am.
Anybody else to have the query? Nahid, unmute yourself.
Hello, ma'am.
Okay, Anand, yes. Tell me what doubt you have.
मैम अभी वो जो लास्ट में था ना,
Which one?
मैम अभी जस्ट अभी था स्क्रीन में.
Okay. This one?
हाँ यस मैम यही.
Hmm.
मैम मुझे बैलेंस और फाइनल रिएक्शन का समझ में नहीं आया.
Okay. Now, first of all, just see here how many number of elements are present here. Only one CA is there. How many number of molecules? So that's why I had written here one CA. Okay. How many number of hydrogens are present? One hydrogen. And how many number of OH? One OH. Okay. Then here, how many number of hydrogen again in the product side? Now this is the reactant side and this is the product side. So in the product side, how many hydrogens? Two hydrogens are there because it is H2. Then how many calcium are there? One calcium. Because we don't have any coefficient and suffix here, so that means one calcium. How many OH? Now as it is written 2, so that's why twice OH is present. So that's why we can see that here calcium, number of calcium is same both in the reactant and the product side, but the number of hydrogen here and here they are different, and OH is also different. Number of OH is also different here. Here it is 1 and here it is 2. Here it is OH is 1 and here it is twice OH. Now to balance the reaction, okay, what we have to do is just put the coefficient in front of that particular compound.
मैम ये वॉइसेस.
Yes. Can you hear me? Here, so two hydrogens. Now what we are putting here, we are putting 2 here in front of this compound. Now what will happen after putting 2 here? Twice hydrogen. 2 hydrogen will be there and twice OH will be there. So now this 2 hydrogen is balanced with this 2 hydrogen. This twice OH, that is hydroxide group, is balanced with the twice hydroxide group. So here in this way we can balance the reaction. After balancing it, now the final reaction will be like that's the totally balanced reaction. So in the first reaction we had not written here 2 here because so it was an unbalanced reaction. Now it is a balanced reaction after writing this 2 in front of the compound. So hence it is a final reaction. So the final reaction.
Ma'am, OH means hydroxide, na?
Which one? What?
OH means hydroxide, na?
Yes, it is hydroxide, right? Okay. Any query, any doubt do you have?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Okay then students, thank you.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.